Hi friend, I'm making a YouTube video. I love to read. I love sustainability. I love talking about fashion and books and art. So here we are. It is December and it is like the midpoint of December. And I have read 2 books so far this month, so I'm a little behind. And so part of the reason I'm making this video is to try and catch myself up for my goals this month of reading and for the year, because I was supposed to read 50 books this month and I'm on 37, so I'm a little behind and I want to try and get 13 books done by the end of the year. So part of the reason I'm doing this is to try and motivate myself. So here we are, and I have some recommendations for you, and then I also have a list of books I'm going to read to finish out the year. So without further ado, here we go. So the first book I read this month we went off with a bang. It was great. It was a banger to say the least. It was Good Spirits by B.K. Borison, who I have figured out is an awesome writer, great romance writer, and I had no idea. I had never read any of their stuff, but Good Spirits was amazing, and like the emotional depth of the characters was wonderful, and like there was some spice, and then there was also just friendship and love within the characters, like not even just the romance aspect, just the friendship between the 2 main characters that formed was just beautiful. And then like the trauma that happened with the main character and what they went through is just, you learn so much, and I really related, because I don't want to give too much away, but yes, I really loved Good Spirits by B.K. Borison. That was the first book I read this month, and it was a great start to December, and it was a great Christmas book. I will say, I am realizing that a lot of Christmas books, even just this past couple of years, the Christmas books I have read, are very sad. Like, not necessarily Good Spirits. And I won't ruin anything in the book, so I'm not going to say it's sad. But other Christmas books I have read that are romances, for some reason, they start off as like rom-coms, and they're great, and they're fun, and then there's like a love triangle, and I feel like I'm just, you know, watching a rom-com in my head. And then all of a sudden, someone dies, and then I'm sad. And I'm like, I don't want this in a Christmas book. I'm just trying to have a good time. And now someone's dead and I'm crying. And I've noticed that with Christmas movies too that I've been watching. And I won't give any Christmas movies away, because if you want to watch some good Christmas movies, just go on Netflix and you'll know what I'm talking about. But there's just some really tragic ones that are really good, that have really good love stories, and then someone has to die and it makes me sad, or someone's already dead. And if you know, you know which one I'm talking about on Netflix. But anyway, yeah, I've just noticed that trend lately in Christmas romance books, and it's a love-hate relationship. I like it and I don't like it. So there's that. Anyway, on to book number 2. The second book I have read so far this month, Always in December by Emily Stone. This book I thoroughly enjoyed. Was it the most well-written book? No. Was it entertaining? Yes. Did I have a good time? Yes. Did I like the end? No. I did not. And I won't tell you what the ending is, but I didn't like the ending. So that's honestly all I have to say about that one. I think I gave it 3.5 stars. I honestly don't think I've rated it yet. And I honestly need to go and transfer all of my things to Fable, because I'm in the process of doing that from Goodreads to Fable, because I don't want to support Jeff Bezos in any shape or form anymore. So I need to do that. But yeah, I haven't rated it yet, but my rating so far is 3.5 stars for Always in December by Emily Stone. I think it's worth reading if you want a good Christmas book. The story itself was definitely entertaining, but didn't like the ending for sure. Yeah, moving on. The next book, so those are all the books I've read so far this year in December. I've only read 2, but I have a hefty list that we'll see if I get through. But right now, what I'm trying to get through, the next book is called A Home for the Holidays. And it was one of my book of the month picks. I had 2 because I skipped a month last month because I wasn't in town, so I was in San Diego. So I just skipped it, and then I was like, oh wait, I have a credit on book of the month, which, not sponsored, I wish. This is my first YouTube video, so not gonna be sponsored. Maybe one day. But yeah, so I used book of the month, and I had 2 credits, and I saw this was like one of their holiday books they had, so I said, oh, we'll try this. And so far, I'm liking it. I am only 20 pages in, so I don't have a ton to say about it, but I am a fan so far. It's set in Chicago. You start off by looking at this woman's past and her relationship with her mother, and her mother had addiction issues. So it's very interesting so far. I always find a good traumatic childhood story to be entertaining. Maybe that's not the right word. Interesting, for lack of a better word. But yeah, it's good so far, and it's pretty short. Like, it's only, how many pages are you? Wow, 240 pages. So I could get through this pretty quickly. Anyway, those were all the physical books I own so far for my Christmas books. But the next book I want to read is on my Kindle, because it's a Kindle Unlimited, and it's going to be Snowed In by Catherine Walsh. I don't know much about this book, I'm going to be honest. I just saw it was free on Kindle Unlimited, and I said, hey, free book, yay, let's save some money. And I heard good reviews. I think a YouTuber, I can't remember which one to be honest, they recommended it, and I saw it was free on Kindle Unlimited, and I said, okay, we'll read that one. But yeah, it's Snowed In by Catherine Walsh, and it's definitely a rom-com, and that's all I know. And then there's another one that's also on Kindle Unlimited that's free called Baggage Claim, and that one's by Julian Smith, and I think it's just another short rom-com. And it's by the same YouTube recommendation that I cannot remember to save the life of me right now, so it's going to be linked below. So yeah. Those will be 2, hopefully I can read those pretty quick as well. 2 just cute little winter, Christmassy romance stories, I hope. I hope that's just what they are. But who knows, with my track record so far, I'm probably just gonna be crying at the end and someone's gonna die. So we will see. We shall see. And then the other one I was gonna recommend to go with our theme of love stories for Christmas, and B.K. Borison, because after I read Good Spirits, I said, I need to read more of this person's work because they are a great writer, that's a better word. They are a great writer. They deserve, to have more, they deserve to be more popular, basically. And so I want to read more of their work. And then I saw they have another, I think it's Christmas themed, like the cover is Christmas themed, and it's Love Light Farms by B.K. Borison. I know it's set in a Christmas tree farm. That is what I learned when I heard about it through another YouTuber, because that's where I get all my book information, and it seems like you probably do as well if you're watching this. So yeah, that'll be another, hopefully, good Christmas book, and another B.K. Borison. So, like, who doesn't want that in their life? If you loved Good Spirits, I'm sure who could go wrong? And then the next couple, I threw these in because I think I'm gonna get sick of love stories at a certain point, and I need to move on to something different because I already feel it, and I've only read 2 love stories this December so far, and I'm already kind of tired of them. And I think Home for the Holidays isn't necessarily a love story. I think it's more of like a family drama, so maybe that'll be kind of a reprieve. But but I threw a couple thrillers in here to see if maybe I need like a palate cleanse, you know? So the next one is Dead of Winter. Again, recommended by the same YouTuber. I can picture her in my head. I just cannot think of her name. She recommended this book in one of her vlogs, I think back in November. And it's a thriller, and it's like these people I think are stuck in a cabin. And it was available in Libby a couple weeks ago, and I had it on a hold, but then I got distracted by Good Spirits and I had to read that first, so I let the hold go. And hopefully I can get it again. Dead of Winter by Darcy Coates. We'll see if I get to that. If I need a palate cleanse of romance, maybe I'll read that next. And then the last one, we'll see if we get to this one. Hopefully we will. Hopefully we can get to 50 books. I don't even think this makes 50 books, but the next winter Christmas recommendation, not even really a Christmas recommendation, is Misery by Stephen King. And I do own it. It's up here somewhere. I've been on a Stephen King kick these past couple years. I try and read at least one Stephen King book a year because I want to try and read, if not all, most of his books by the end of my life, however long that may be. Just because, you know, I think his work is worth reading. Most of it is, if not all. And I've read Salem Lot, The Shining. I've read more than that, I think. Maybe not. Wow. I thought I'd read more than that. Okay. Yeah, I've read Salem's Lot and The Shining, and that's it. I thought I'd read more. I'm not a true fan. But anyway, I want to read more of his work because I do think he's a great writer. He's great at detail. He's great at character development, and I think his stories are original and entertaining. So, especially around the fall, the winter time, I think his stories are really fun. So, anyway, I thought Misery would be a good winter story because it's set in like a cabin in the snow. So, yeah, that was my last recommendation. And then, or my last book for me to read. And then I have a few recommendations that I have read the past few Christmases. These are just books I really enjoyed around the holidays / winter. This could go into January, February as well. But yeah, without further ado, the first one is We Met in December. But it's a very British book. It's set in London. It's very Love Actually vibes. It reminded me very much of that movie. It's definitely like a love triangle. It's definitely like young 20s, figuring out your 20s. And it was very sweet. I really enjoyed it at the time. I think I read it when I was like 22, 23, so I related to it a lot, and just like, you know, figuring out what you wanted to do with your life, and that time in your life is just very, I feel like it's very turbulent and very up in the air, so it was nice to relate and have a Christmassy London feel, you know? Moving on, the next one is actually more of a New Year's book. It's called In 5 Years. This one is a really interesting story. I remember I really liked it because I'd never read anything like it, but it's about a woman who wakes up 5 years. So it starts off New Year's Eve, and then the next morning she wakes up 5 years later with a completely different life she never thought she would have, with a completely different guy than she did not think she would be with. And then more than 4.5 years later, she meets the guy, and then it's like their love story basically, and how they end up together. And it was really unique and sweet, and I really liked it. So yeah, that one was good. I honestly don't remember a ton about that book. I think I read that in like 2020, so it was a while ago. But the next recommendation is Winter Garden by Kristen Hanna. That one I do remember the author. But yeah, it's a very, not really a Christmas book, but definitely a winter vibe. Definitely a historical fiction. You know, that's Kristen Hanna's jam. Most of the time, she has a couple random ones that aren't, but most of the time she's got that historical fiction vibe going on. And this one's definitely that. It's Russia through the lens of World War II. I think it's set in St. Petersburg, but correct me if I'm wrong, it might be another city in Russia. I guess the USSR at the time. Anyway. Oh, excuse me. Alexa, stop! But yes, Winter Garden, set in the USSR, the Soviet Union during World War II, and it's basically this daughter trying to get her mother to relay her past about World War II and like kind of connect with her mom. And her mom grew up in the Soviet Union during World War II. It's really good. I really enjoyed it. It's really sad. Definitely you'd cry, but it's worth reading, especially if you need a good cry. And sometimes you do. And then the next one is The Great Alone, another Kristin Hannah recommendation. This one isn't really, like I said, as much a historical fiction, so that's one that's not really as much like that for Kristin Hannah. There is some historical aspects that she ties in about Alaska, because this takes place in Alaska, and I think it starts off in the 60s or 70s, and then it goes, I think, all the way into the 90s at the end. But it's more just a story about the main character is this young girl at first, and then her story with her family living in Alaska. The main story is about domestic violence, and I don't want to ruin too much of it. And again, another really sad one. That's something else, Kristin Hannah is well known for, is making you cry. But well worth it. I think it's a good look into domestic abuse and those types of relationships, and how people can keep going back to those types of relationships, and how manipulative they can be, and just like, how someone keeps getting tied back into them. So yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed it. And the way she talks about and paints the picture of Alaska and the nature and the scenery, I had a great time. That one's really long, though, I will say that. I had to go back and forth with the physical book and the audiobook with that one, just because I would get tired of physically reading it, so I would just have to listen to it for a while, and then I'd go back and forth with it. But I thoroughly enjoyed that book. And then the next one, my next recommendation was one I really enjoyed. I think this is my last recommendation, yes. This was In a Holidays by Christina Lauren. This book comes up a lot on Christmas recommendation books, but I think for a good reason. I think Christina Lauren, so it's two authors, it's Christina something and Lauren something. They co-write a lot of books together, and I don't know, the story is basically a Groundhog Day type story, where it's these two people, they're reliving Christmas Day or Christmas Eve, I can't remember, over and over again. But the way she writes, Christina and Lauren, they write characters, is so well done, and they really know how to create tension and romance with two characters. And they just wrote this idea of a family coming together at Christmas every year so well, and I really enjoyed it. It kind of reminded me of The Family Stone a little bit too, that movie, but maybe a little less quirky. I don't know, that movie I always thought was quirky. But yeah, it was really good book, and it's pretty short. I think it's 300 something pages. It's a very fast read, and yes, that is my last recommendation. So I hope you enjoyed these book recommendations. I hope you got something out of it and found a good book to read for the holidays that got you in the spirit. And I hope you get through your TBR list for this year as well, like I am. And I hope you have a merry, happy holidays.